Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Got Next Gaming and a new series here for Madden 17. We are going to do something completely unprecedented, and I want to invite you guys to help me out with a fantasy draft. This was one of my best series last year with Madden 16. I'm going to do it again this year, but I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do 4 different teams in a fantasy draft. The first one I'm going to pick, but then I'm going to ask you guys to leave comments and let me know what teams you want to see, 3 other teams that we can pick, and possibly make this a live stream type of deal where you come in and actually help me make the picks, or even I'll go through and pick the teams based upon suggestions that you guys may make for players as well, and ideas about what you want to build around and things like that. Like I said, this is something I've never done before, but I want you guys to be more into this. I want to get interactive on this one and hear your feedback on it. The first team, like I said, I'm going to pick. I went with the New York Jets because that's my favorite team. And I went through the draft, and you're going to see that here in this video, and we're going to run through it. I'm going to let you know about the picks that I made. It goes kind of quick, so it's hard to keep up with it. So I'll try to explain some of the picks as I go. But I have one rule, and one rule only when I do a draft. I make it so that I don't screw myself over when I'm trying to build an offense and a defense, and I try to do it balanced. So I do 2 picks of defense, and then I go 2 picks offense, and I go back and do 2 picks defense and 2 picks offense. Actually, this time around, what I'm going to do is going to start with offense and then go defense in this one. I did last year. I went defense first and then offense. But this time around, I'm going to go offense first and then defense in the picks. So pick number 1 will be offense. Pick number 2 will be offense. Pick number 3 will be defense. Pick number 4 will be defense, so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and start in here with which team I'm going to pick and how we're going to set this up. So we are going to import the latest rosters possible. This way we have the ratings of all the players as they currently stand here going into the openers here for the season, regular season openers and stuff like that. We're going to pick the New York Jets, like I said, as I promised. New York Jets are my team. We're going to go with that. We're going to leave the coach stuff alone. We're going to do it in coach mode, and we're going to leave the coaches alone. I'm not going to go crazy with that kind of stuff. It's really about the drafting of the players. So here we go. I'm going to choose fantasy draft now. And we're going to do the full experience, and we're going to jump on in here and get ready to do our draft. So like I said, this is going to go quick, and I'm going to do my best. I might not be able to talk about every single pick that I make, but I will talk about the key picks here and there overall so that it hopefully makes sense on what I'm trying to do and what I'm thinking as I'm going along. It gets kind of interesting. I'm going to do 25 rounds, and then I'm going to let it sim the rest of it. And I'll show you the team after everything's said and done. I'll show you the full roster of what actually is on the team, who's actually on the team after all is said and done. So here we are, folks. Pick number 1. We're the 27th pick overall, and we have some decisions to make right away. I'm going to pass on Gronkowski here. I'm going to go for who I think is the best wide receiver in football as of now in the league today and pick Julio Jones. With our second pick, we're going to work on the offensive line and take Joe Thomas, a 99 overall. Now, we're going to go defense here, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can make a splash here, and we do. We're going to take Geno Atkins, the defensive tackle, to be the anchor of our defensive line to start things off. So now we have round number 4 here, and our second defensive player. I looked at Michael Bennett for a second, and I was like, do I go for it or not? Or do I go for more of a playmaker? Yeah, let's take it Malcolm Jenkins. He's on the right side of 30, and I think that'll be a good fit for us. So back to the offense. Time for a quarterback. Not much to look at here. We're only in the 5th round, and already the quarterbacks are gone. This was a tough decision to make, but I decided that overall I should go young here, like I've done before in the past. We're going to take Carson Wentz, the rookie, to be our quarterback. So another offensive pick here for us. What do? That's right. Let's go for Marshall Yanda, 97 overall. Let's really build that offensive line. It's going to be the core of this team. Back to defense now. Middle linebacker. Go for the best on the board there. We'll take Derek Johnson. He's old, but I like the way he looks. Next pick here, we need a cornerback. They're already gone as well. We're going to take Brent Grimes. He's a little bit on the older side too, but definitely a decent pick and definitely still some great numbers all in all. So now we're coming into round number 9 here, and we are looking back on the offense. And, we're going to probably go for a running back here, and we're going to take Jonathan Stewart. He's the best one out there, and he's got some pretty decent numbers, even for the age of 30. We're going to get ourselves a playmaking tight end here who's got great numbers and go for Gresham. Now, round 11, back to the defense again. We're going to have to pick up an outside linebacker or two, or some linebackers or two. Let's go Julius Peppers here. He's older, but still great numbers. Next, we're going to have to make another pick here. I'm going to go for the defensive line here again. As I looked around, there weren't many ends left, so I went for the defensive tackle and picked Nagata. Now, we're going to go back to the offensive line, and we need an anchor, and there's Alex Mack, the center. Moving forward here, we do need another playmaking wide receiver. Great numbers, catching traffic, spectacular catch. James Jones on the other side. Not many cornerbacks left. Our second quarterback is going to be Leon Hall. Not a great pick there, as the cornerbacks are starting to get slim already, and we're only into the 16th round. We do need a linebacker here. A.J. Hawk is tempting, but a little bit older. I think I wanted to go for the young guy here, so I went Danny Linsana instead, who's got some pretty solid numbers and is on the right side of 30. Going for the offensive line again, we'll pick up Ayupati, who is a 90 overall. We've got a sick killer offensive line, and I kind of want to build it around that way anyway. I mean, I often do this when I do fantasy draft. I build the line first because it is really all about the strength of your offensive line. The game is won in the trenches, as they always say. So here we're going to have to go and pick the best player on the board for free safety because secondary is starting to look a little slim there. And again, like I was saying about the defensive ends, yeah, a 78 at left end. This is what's out there right now, folks. And it was starting to get really interesting. Round number 20. And I'm running out of time here, but I'm not getting some very good picks here. I'm trying to find value at this point coming into round 21. And we're going to have to pick up another wide receiver. I need a guy who can fit well in the slot, has good catch and traffic and spectacular catch numbers, along with the speed and acceleration. I took Jelaine Strong. Now, moving forward, you need a little bit of a depth tight end here. Luke Wilson on the right side of 30. He's 26. Got some pretty solid numbers. We'll take him. Looking good there. Looking for more defensive line help here. We need a right end now, as we've got way too far here into the draft now to pick up anybody decent. We might as well take the best guy on the board and go for Arthur Jones. And like I said, it was getting a little interesting here. Couldn't really find any kind of pass rusher defensive ends at this point. They were all gone. We're going to have to make a move, maybe move Ngata there later on in a trade or something like that to pick somebody up. Here, I just went with what I knew familiar-wise and picked Antonio Cromartie as my third cornerback. He'll fit well there in a nickel package as he's still got decent numbers for a guy who's over 30. So now here we are into round 25, and at this point I'm just looking for, I think, depth. So I'm going for another right outside linebacker, Robert Mathis, who is, again, older, much older, but does bring a lot to the table numbers-wise for a guy who's 33 years old. And I don't feel like we could do much worse at this point. So this is the portion of the game or the draft where I decided to let them pick out the rest of it for me, and it goes through to about 54 rounds, 55 rounds, I think. And yeah, that would have been a lot for me to do itself. Took me about 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes to get to where I was at round 25, and it's a lot. But let's take a look at the team. So we'll take a look right here, right now at the offense, and we're going to go through the depth charts as well. Just kind of take a quick look around here. Carson Wentz, Jonathan Stewart, Julio Jones. That offensive line is absolutely disgusting. I even have pieces if I wanted to trade away to improve other portions of the team. Here's the defense as well. And need a little work on the secondary and definitely some work on the defensive ends. That defensive line only have Geno Atkins and his constituent there, Ngata. And we're going to take a look here. So we see Carson Wentz. We have Jonathan Stewart. I'm happy with those there. Let's take a look at wide receiver. We have Julio Jones, James Jones, Jalen Strong. The other two guys were auto-picked, but again, just putting some depth into the team there. We have Jermaine Gresham. We have Luke Wilson, who I think is going to be a great depth player for us as well, as they're both under 30 years old, and Luke Wilson is 26. We're going to quickly just flash through the offensive line because we know what that's all about already, and I'm super stoked for this offensive line. They should play really well and be a highlight of this team to make this offense pretty strong. And then we're taking a look at the defense as you see my ends, and you see Ngata and Atkins Halati, I think you're going to have to go. We may make some trades for you in a little bit. We're going to have to see about that. So let's take a look at our linebackers. Again, not the brightest part of this team. Derek Johnson is definitely a highlight here, but he is 33 years old. He's on the older side, but he still has some crazy, amazing numbers. A 96 awareness. That's going to be huge for us there. Here's Julius Peppers, 36 years old. Robert Mathis at 35 years old. They're both 86, 83, so not bad there. We'll take a look at our cornerbacks. After Brent Grimes, there's not much to write home about. Leon Hall is serviceable, but really not a second quarterback. And we have D'Angelo Hall as our free safety, and Malcolm Jenkins, who's definitely the anchor of our secondary here as it starts with. So let's take a look at some trades. Yeah, looking at Nagata here, nobody wants him. I mean, 85 overall. I tried to make some trades here, try to lowball a little bit, try to make some straight up trades. Nobody was having it. I even tried to throw some picks in here, draft picks. Went for a cornerback in Jonathan Joseph, and they finally took that one there, and I gave up a 5th round pick as well. I mean, I went through this for about 20 minutes, folks, no joke, to try to make a draft work just to get this team back to a spot where it would be good. So now taking a look at this, the secondary looks much stronger now with Jonathan Joseph in there, who, again, is older, and we didn't do anything for the defensive line yet, but the linebackers look good. The secondary looks great. I think we're going to be pretty good there. But that's going to do it here, folks. I want to see your comments below. Tell me what team you want me to do next. We're going to do 3 more teams this way before we actually start a season and pick one team to go forward with through these drafts. Thanks for stopping by. Please leave a like. I'll see you around the channel, and goodbye now.